Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a look at another brand new addition to the Forza series, which is this Toyota Camry TRD. As is often the case with new vehicles, all you have to do to unlock this Camry is complete 20 points of this week's festival playlist, which is the autumn season. You can see I've actually completed 25 by doing the weekly Forzathon, the trial, one of the seasonal championships, and the 4 monthly rivals at the beginning of the series. To be honest, Toyota Camrys sort of confuse me. I don't believe any generation of them was ever sold here in the UK, so I don't really see them, and therefore I'm not really as excited for this new edition as I was for either of the Fast Fords. It is, though, more interesting than the Durango that's coming in a couple of weeks' time. As far as I can work out, though, the Camry is a rather large and rather uninteresting saloon sold in America as well as some other places. This one, though, is the faster TRD version, which should be a bit more exciting, producing a rather exact 301 brake horsepower. Being rather large, though, it also weighs over 1600 kilos, giving an overall rating of B643 here in Horizon 5. Before we head back to the festival to look at the options here in Forza, though, this is what happened when we drag raced a stock Camry against the recently added GR Yaris and a much older Supra. Unbelievable wheel spin.
Oh, hell, that Yaris.
All-wheel drive is good. Front-wheel drive is bad.
Yeah, I know.
Yaris is just as brilliant as everyone thought.
Yaris is best Toyota. The Camry is available in a range of manufacturer colours. You can have it in black or white. There are advanced painting groups though, so if you want to paint group 1 a more interesting colour, say in a sort of orangey yellow, then you can go to group 2 and change the colour of the top half. So you could have a yellow lower half with a bright pink roof if you so wished, to clash brilliantly with that red accent around the base of the car. Luckily, despite there being not many colours, there are a few more options in the upgrade shop. There's all of the usual kind of engine upgrades, with them all applied on the stock engine and no engine swaps or aspiration conversions. You can get power up to 617 horsepower. Then you have all of your usual platform and handling options, brakes, suspension, anti-roll bars, roll cage, and weight reduction, which, if fully applied, can bring weight down as low as 1,288 kilos. There's then your usual drivetrain options, tyres and rim options, including the option to bring track width out, which always makes the cars just look that much nicer. Then there are some aero options, but as you may have guessed from the fact there are some more interesting rear wing options, there is also a wide body kit, a Battle Axe wide body, which basically puts some wide fenders on. But you may notice it sort of breaks the texture on the window surrounds on the back window, which is slightly a shame because it kind of ruins the effect of it. But yeah, you can do that. And there are also some engine swaps, including an 8.4 litre V10, racing 3 litre inline-6 turbo, a 7.2 litre V8, and a 7.7 litre V12. There is, of course, also the option to rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive convert the car, or twin-turbo or supercharge it. With the racing 7.2 litre V8 installed and fully upgraded, you can get power as high as 1,356 horsepower. At this point we went in search of tunes, not finding much in B-Class, instead opting for an A-Class tune, complete with wide body and anti-lag, and then headed into some Horizon Open. We joined for the final race of an adventure at the Aerodromo Sprint, where I braked far too late for the first corner, understeered straight into a wall, and then found, although that crash was my fault, that throughout the race the understeer persisted as a problem with this car. After a not great first race, I ended up in 6th place. So we of course went into another set of races, despite the mediocrity of this car and lack of steering. The first race here was at the Plaza circuit, where unsurprisingly it wasn't much better, and I ended up 5th out of 6. Next was the San Juan sprint, where despite some awful driving, I ended up in a much better 3rd place by the end of the race. However, it still really didn't feel like it was a good car to race. And finally we were off to the Horizon Mexico circuit, which actually suited the tune far better than any of the other routes, but after a race-long battle with a Nissan 370Z, I somehow won the race. This was, though, the only race that the Camry had been successful in with an A-Class tune. Before giving up entirely on this car, though, we went to see if any more B-Class tunes had been published, and ended up applying a K1Z Bard tune. With this applied to the Camry, it didn't perform much better than it had in A-Class, sadly. We again joined for the final race of an adventure at the Marigold Sprint. Here I ended up all the way down in 5th, with Elf just ahead in 4th, using the same tune. So again we went into another set of races, starting with the Gran Pantano Sprint, which, being a much higher speed route, went somewhat better, with the Camry taking a 1st and 2nd place finish. Next up was the Emerald Circuit. Here the Camry did also get half decent results, with a 1st and 3rd place finish, despite feeling quite sluggish to drive. And finally we went to the Vista Del Mar Sprint. Again, this time the Camry managed to occupy all of the top 3 places. My 3rd place finish was helped by the pole position start though. Despite this good result, it still didn't really feel good compared to a lot of other cars in B-Class. So given the Camry wasn't great in either A or B, I removed the tune and instead engine swapped it, maxed it out, gave it a wide body, painted it yellow, all-wheel drive swapped it, and then dumped it in my garage, where I'll probably never use it again. And this is what the Camry now looks like after all of those modifications. But anyway, that is going to do it for today's video, taking a first look at this brand new addition to the Forza series. From standard, it's a bit slow and uninteresting and is just a kind of average saloon. It has some interesting customization options, including that rather wild wide body, as well as quite a selection of engine swaps. Unfortunately though, tuned up to both A and B class, it didn't perform terribly well in online, and like I say, given I'm here in the UK and we don't really see these things, I'm not terribly bothered by it, and I probably won't end up driving it again. But yeah, it's kind of cool and kind of mad as it's turned out now, but yeah, I can't see what I'm going to use this thing for again. Anyway, as ever, do let me know your thoughts on this brand new addition to the Forza series, but for today's video that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next one very soon.